Hello friends, happy Sunday. This is one video that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. It's been highly requested and it's only now that I've actually had the time to do it. I'm not a very good video editor, so I'll just try to do this in one take and explain things as best as I can. So this is all about sharpening your skiving knife. So what I have here, okay wait, sorry, these are my materials. So I have my whetstone. This is my two-sided diamond stone that I got from Shopee. I've posted multiple links to this. It has a 600 grit side and a 1200 side. I also have another one with a 400 grit side and a 1200 side. This is my strop that I've been using for many years. Okay. So I have the green polishing compound or pasta verde on one side. I have bare leather on the other side. If you look at all the damage from all of the tools that I've tested and stropped over the years. And then I also have little strips on the side there. You can see it says 10 cm, on the other side 8 cm. That is to help polish my French bevelers. Okay, so anyway, before we get into sharpening, let's talk about the fundamentals first. So this is an ikeuchi skiving knife. I'm not sponsored by Ikeuchi or the store that brings it in, which is PJ Rijiko Hardware. So all of us usually start off getting this skiving knife tool. It's one of the first tools that we get when leather crafting. And one of the first things that I do suggest when you get this tool is to polish the back. Okay, this is the front side of it. You can see that it has the bevel here. This is the back side. If you can see on the back side, I have an area here which looks very polished. Sorry, my blade is a bit oily, so that's why it doesn't see there. There, you can see the line here, which looks like the hamon of a katana. Okay, this is something that I've polished and flattened. I do this because, well, fundamentals of sharpening is that in order for you to get a very sharp cutting edge, okay, the two sides of your blade have to meet. And for a skiving knife, that is this flat side, and that is this slanted area, which we call the bevel. Okay, so if you look at it closely, you can see that there are almost 3 layers to this bevel. Here's the flat of the knife. There's the bevel where it angles down, and then it gets into this shinier portion here. So this is a very highly polished portion, which I also sharpen. I'll get into that. So when you buy a brand new skiving knife, whether it's China made, whether it's an ikeuchi, I don't know about Crimson Heights, I don't know about Sins or Palo Santo or whoever else makes very quality skiving knives if the blade is already flat. In this case, yung ikeuchi was not as flat as I would have wanted it to be. So I really had to spend a lot of time flattening this out. Yes, it will take sometimes hours. It took me like half a day to flatten and polish this out, but for me it's worth it, because once you do this, it becomes very easy to strop and sharpen and touch up your knife over time. So it will save you a lot of time, and it will also improve the quality of your projects. So to flatten this, okay, again, this is just very quick. You just put it flat on your stone, and then you just go back and forth. When I first bought this knife, I started, okay, right now I'm using the 1200 grit because I have already polished this stone before. Once in a while, I will drop some oil on the stone, but for the sake of this demo, I won't be doing that. So I just do that for a few times. Usually I do it like 50 times per side, and you can already see where the stone has already bitten here on the flat side. Okay. So once that's flat, I will actually take it to the strop and I will just polish it down like this. Okay, this is not usually how I hold my strop, it's just the way the camera is angled. So I'll just also do that for a few times, maybe about 20 strokes. There's no really hard and fast rule. I mean, if you have a method that works for you and it produces a really sharp knife, then okay, then stick with that. You know, I'm not here, this is just my method. I'm not here to tell you how it should be done. So there, it's a little bit more polished. Okay. Now I just used this knife for a project, so I really do need to sharpen it. So that's basically what you do to flatten the back. So make sure that when you do get a new knife, or if your knife doesn't have a flat back, please take the time to flatten and polish here until you get this, all of this even. Okay? Because remember, you need to get this side and this side to meet in order to get that very sharp cutting edge. And once you do get an edge like that, you know, it'll be easier to sharpen your knife. You will have very cleaner looking projects, because when you cut, it's gonna be usually a very clean cut. And I think like most crafters is, we usually hold the knife this way, you know, with the, or so that, okay, with the project being here, so that we can cut flush with the line. I know that some people like to do it this way, using the bevel for the natural angle of the human hand, but that's not how I do it. That's not what I is used to. Okay, anyway, on to sharpening, since I need to sharpen this knife. The key to sharpening is making sure that your, okay, for a skiving knife, it's very easy because this side is flat. You can just do that. On this side, you know, how do you know that you need to sharpen at an angle? And you have to maintain the correct angle all the time, okay, when sharpening. You don't want this moving as you sharpen. So it doesn't really matter what angle. I think the somewhere between 20 to 25 degrees is correct. Or if your knife, if you bought it already has an angle, then you just try to follow that. So what I do, just to make sure that I get the correct angles, I use the permanent marker system. So I use a Sharpie, or any permanent marker will do. You don't necessarily have to use a Sharpie, because Sharpie sharpens. No. And I will just color the edge here. So this gives me a guide. So now that I know that this side is flat, as long as I'm sharpening on the knife and I don't see any more of this Sharpie, then I know that I am sharpening at the right angle, because it's removing all of that Sharpie from the edge. So let's do that now. Okay, try to position it so that you can see it. And I'll probably just take about maybe just a few strokes. Don't be scared of the things that could go wrong. How long can we wait? Okay, so let's look. And there, you can see that most of the Sharpie is out on the edge. You can see just a little bit hanging out there. That's just above the cutting. That's just above the cutting head. Okay, let's do a little bit more. Everybody hates happy ending story. Kind of love that makes them happy. Okay, I'm not a very good singer. Anyway. Okay, so there. Okay, that looks good. We've got a good edge. Okay, now I can feel some burr in the back. A lot of people might be asking, what is burr? Okay, so what happened here is that since I've sharpened this side, okay, I've pushed metal from this side to the back side. Okay, and it produces what's called burr, a little bit of wire that gets pushed up on this side. You can't really see it, but I can feel it with my finger there. So what happens is, when I get the burr, I try to sharpen that out. So I'm going this way now. Okay. So there we go. So I don't feel the burr on the back. I feel a little bit here because now it's been pushed up on this upper side. So what I do when I sharpen is, when the knife is brand new, I go from 400 grit to 600 grit, 1200, and then I go to strop. Now, a lot of people will, and you'll see a lot of sharpening videos, go to 3000 grit, 2000 grit, 3000 grit, 6000 grit, especially for those Japanese sushi knife videos. Again, that's if you're a chef. Us being crafters, time is money. So, and from 1200 grit to a strop, I think already gives me a edge that I'm very, very satisfied with. And I think it cuts really well. So I will basically stick with that. So anyway, so I'll start stropping. So when you strop, okay, can it be seen? Yeah. So you kind of maintain the same angle. So people ask, how many times do you pull with a strop? And it also depends. Some people say 20 times, some people say just 10 or 15. Well, what I like to do is something that I read in a forum, just to make sure that it's uniform. I think they call it a dead man strop or something. I don't know why. Basically, you pull back 8 times. I have lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you just do that again. You go 7. I lost count. I guess that's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you get the idea. My battery's low, so I don't want to go all the way. So usually after I've done that, then I will switch to the bare leather side. The strop helps to get rid of the burr. There's a slight abrasive, so it makes it finer. This side has no abrasive on it at all. It's just bare leather, so it's really there just to remove any leftover burr. And once in a while, when you look at your strop after doing this, you will find little bits of metal there, like little grains of the size of little grains of sand, and that's the burr that's been pulled out. Okay, so since this knife was already sharpened before, it should be sharp now. Okay, I think I can feel an edge. I can feel an edge there. Let me turn on this light. I can feel a bit of an edge. I don't feel any more burr, so I can feel the polish. There are ways to test, but I just like using paper to test how sharp the knife is, and I think we've got it good here. Yep, very good. And if I'm not mistaken, we can also do this. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, guys, but it's actually skived the paper. We've got there. It's actually skived the paper. You can see the cut there with the shadow. That hasn't gone all the way through. It's it's just paper that's been shaved. So this knife is now sharp, and it is ready for service. Like, yeah, and it's ready for service. That's ready for skiving. Okay, so there. That's basically how I do the skiving knife. Usually once, because we've flattened the back and we've already flattened the edges. After a project, it's always good to just basically strop your knife before and after, and this helps maintain that edge. And you'll probably not need to sharpen this until for a very, very long time. Okay. You will have to sharpen it after a while, but you just keep doing this before and after, and it will maintain. And because you flattened and polished that back to make sure that you have you have met edges all the time, then it will be so much easier to maintain the sharpness of this knife. That it's crazy sharp how it gets now, you know. It push cuts really well. So if it can do this to paper, you know that it's definitely gonna do wonders for leather. Okay, I'm just gonna be really careful. Okay, hope that's seen there. Okay, enough demo loop. Okay, so you've seen some of my videos where I've been managed to shave paper and even strands of hair. Yes, if you strop and polish long enough, you can polish hair, but you know, that's really for show. Because we're crafters, time is money. We need to sharpen and get back to work as soon as possible. So you can see that this gives us more than a serviceable enough edge for us to do our work. So, okay. Before I go, just a quick note on other things. I use the same method also for French skivers. Okay. So I don't know if it can be seen here. Let's turn the light there. Okay. You can see here I have also polished the back of this here using the same method for the skiving knife. And then after I polish, I do strop following the same angle. And then on the other side, okay, this is a 10 mm. This one says 10 cm, it should say 10 mm. Stupid Louis. Okay. And yeah, I just lay it down and I just pull it once, maintaining the angle of that, maintaining the angle there. I do not want to rock this. Okay, just want to maintain that angle, then strop. And it should also give you a French skiver that has the same results. Okay, so there. You will have a beautifully skiving French skiver if you've got an edge like that. Okay, last note. Someone asked me about round punches. Okay, well, half round punches here. So I have done this before. This is the China-made half round punches that I think most of us start off with as beginners. Basically the same thing. You know, you can put Sharpie on the edge. Here you can see that I've already sharpened this before. That's why it's very polished. And so I'll just use the strop for this one just to demo the motion. It's basically the same, you know, except that when I pull this back on the strop, and remember, when you use a strop, always pull back, never push forward, okay, or else you'll damage and cut into your leather, is I rotate. Okay. So you can sharpen this on the stone, just like I did the round knife. Yes, you can put Sharpie on the edge also to guide you there. But just remember that when you sharpen, as you pull back, you rotate. I mean, yes, you can do it this way, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel as even, and so I just like to do it this way. And same thing on the bare leather. Okay, the quality of this steel is not very good, so I don't know if I'll get the same paper cutting edge as I did with this French skiver. No, I don't. It is cutting though. There, just not as well as the knife or the skiver. It's a thicker angle, but yeah, definitely this will still punch and produce nice half rounds for your project. Although I think getting a better set will do. I think I need to upgrade this eventually. So yeah, there. So there. That's how we basically sharpen. One last note. Steel also matters. In this case, with this ikeuchi, it's Japanese blue steel number 2, Aogami number 2, and I really like the blue steel. The China-made knives, usually are some kind of stainless. They're a little bit softer, so the edge retention isn't as good. I like this Japanese knife because I am really a big fan of Aogami number 2 or Japanese blue steel number 2, which is what this knife uses. So I don't know what the other knife companies use. I think Crimson Hides uses Shirogami, white steel number 1. I don't know about Synth's leather. I think they also use somewhat the same. I've seen the Kiridashi knives for Crimson Hides, and that's usually hardened to 64 to 66 Rockwell hardness. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Steel also can more or less give you a harder blade. Now for crafters like us, because leather is harder to cut, hardness matters. So if you have a blade that can be hardened to more than 60 Rockwell hardness, well and good. So this is also why not all knives last very long, and sometimes I do have a Chinese knife that I got a long time ago, a Chinese skiving knife. After you use it once, the edge is dead. But not so with this one, and not so with the quality ones. So yeah, if ever, do try to get yourself a quality knife if you can. Okay, so guys, just remember that having sharp tools are a key to our craft. And just because you don't have the best tools doesn't mean you cannot bring out the best of what it can do and what you can do as a crafter. Okay, we've all started from maybe garbage or beginner's tools and still made some beautiful things. So it's never the tool. Master what you've got, okay, and then upgrade. Remember that we upgrade because we do love what we do. We do love the art of crafting. It's not because we just have to get the best, or having the best usually produces the best work. No, it's always in the crafter's hands. So always bring out the best of what you've got first, and if you think you can take that to another level, then go and upgrade. There's so many people in our group who sell really amazing branded tools. You know, if you want Sins, if you want Palo Santo, if you want Crimson Hides, if you want Kevin Lee, or all the other brands that I may not be too familiar with. I'm definitely no master when it comes to this craft yet. I'm still a student. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you how I sharpen my knife. Again, this is my method, my personal method. If you have a better way, you know, just put it down in the comments. Please share it. This is just what works for me, and you know, for a community that's given me so much, this is in a way my way of giving back. This video's gone way long, so I just want to say thank you very much to Leather Crafters Philippines, Leathercraft Guild Philippines, and Leather Users and Hobbyists Philippines, and also shout out to my first leather teacher, si Sir Mariel Manalansan. Sorry, did I botch up your name? Sorry, sir. Sir Mariel of Make Any Leather. Okay. One take. I'm tired. All right. Thanks, guys. Happy Sunday.